Hey everyone, my name is Dylan. I also go by Malthus, either Lord or Fort Malthus, whichever one you've seen before. I am an action RPG lover, and recently, recently, I picked up Last Epoch. So, I wanted to make a quick video about what I like so far and what I don't, as just a new person with history of. I wanted to make a quick video just explaining what I like and what I don't like so far. A little bit about my action RPG history. I played probably 200 hours of D2 back in high school. Played probably 150 hours of D3. Played like 10 hours of D4. Didn't like it very much at all. I tried Path of Exile. Found it to be really too much. I'm a dad, 2 little kids. I'm kind of the demographic that Diablo 4 was going for, but I just didn't connect with it at all. So this was kind of a nice middle ground. From everything I had seen, lots of videos online, that they did a good job. So let's just, we'll create a new character. So the first thing you see when you come in the game is that it's got 5 very basic character types, right? I love it. It reminds me of Diablo 2. You got your paladin / warrior, you got your druid, your acolyte, which is your dark mage, you've got your elementalist mage, and you get your rogue. So very nice, right? Nice setup, very easy to explain. We know this dude's sword and board or big two-handers. We know this dude probably turns into a bear. I don't even have to know. I see he has a giant bear. So we'll click on someone. We'll click on the Sentinel, which is the heavy sword and board. And the cool thing is, it's very accessible. So the first, 20 levels, you're going to be a Sentinel, which is like the primary class. And only once you're at that point that you have to choose one of these secondary classes. As you saw from my last one, I chose the Acolyte because I was a big D2 Necromancer fan. And I ended up doing the Lich just because reasons. I saw that everyone on the top of the leaderboards was a Lich, so I was like, screw it, I'll do Lich. Probably wanted to do Necromancer, but anyway. I found the gameplay to be both fast, but also semi-complicated. There's a lot of things I don't understand yet. I'm 10 hours in. And the reason why I'm making this is because I figured if I make one now, that's just kind of that'll show what I like and what I don't like so far. Hold on, let's go back here. Create a new character. One more thing. If you look, this is early access. We have all but 2 classes. And so only the Falconeer and Warlock are locked right now. But everything I've seen, if you have a specific kind of power fantasy when it comes to an action RPG or an MMO, it's probably represented in the game. There's 2 different pet classes, both the Acolyte for undead and the Druid for just so many different kinds of animals, including squirrels, from what I've seen. There's lots of different support characters, there's lots of tanks, lots of high DPS characters. So, lots of cool stuff. You just go into them, and they have a really good explanation, and they even show the specialized skills, which is something that's amazing, right? I wish more games would do that. So if we go back here, this is my character. It's Miss Malthus. It is gender locked. Some people don't like that. I don't care. You aren't exactly. You're looking from a 2.5 perspective on your character, so you're not really seeing them that much. So let's go ahead and enter the game. I haven't had any problems with playing online. I don't play with anyone, but just in case somebody I like gets the game, I play online. There is game sound. I have my headphones off, but I figured you guys might want to listen to it. The game is fairly simple when it comes to graphics, which is nice. There's a lot of colors on the screen when you're casting spells and stuff, and there's a ton of customization. One criticism coming from D2 and D3, I never had to have a loot filter, but just having to have a loot filter all the time because of how much crap gets thrown around is kind of off-putting. I tried to get one from the online forum, and I did, but like honestly, it was still even then it was overcomplicated. Changes the colors of everything, and so that's going to be something I'll probably delve into in the next version of this video when I get to about 25 hours, I'd say. The story has been pretty good, from what I understand. I'm not going to lie. I generally have at least one screaming child with me at all times. But the overarching story is fairly fun. It makes a lot of like sense when it comes to fantasy and everything. Have had no real issues with it. It's got a lot of replayability. So as you can see, it uses like time as its main like crux. So you have this area, right? So we got Majeka right here, right? We can go to the ancient area or ancient era, and everything's like prehistoric. There's raptors and shit. Then you have the age of like the gods, which would be like the classical age. This would be like the age of Rome. This is after the apocalypse, which is kind of nice. And then you have something called the end of time. This is what happens when you get to level 50, I believe, and you start doing in-game content. From what I understand, it's kind of like maps in PoE, but less complicated. So we're in the Imperial era, and we're just going to roll around. I wanted to show you my minions. So I do, even though I chose the non-minion Acolyte, I still have minions, which is great because it's my jam. And I'll show you some of the customization. Now, the game is kind of like a D3 version of an action RPG. You have 4 main skills. So as you can see, I've got Spirit Plague, Summon Skeleton, Summon Bone Golem, Wandering Spirits, and then you have a right-click ability, which is Drain Life. Not so bad. It's less complicated than some that have like 50 buttons, right? But it's nice, and I'll show you why. So let me just show you these are my little arrow dudes, right? I don't have to have a body to summon them. That's kind of nice. That was kind of always one of my gripes for D2, was that you had to have corpses to spawn your guys, but you couldn't kill anything on your own. And then I have a giant golem that I've imbued with fire. I've also got a life drain. It works pretty well. And then when I hit R, it creates a large field of undead that kind of just swarm, and anyone that walks through them gets damaged. Pretty easy. If you're familiar with Locust Swarm from D3, this is basically that. You cast it on one person. When they die, it spreads. So, yeah. I like the passive system. So, like I said, you start out, your first like 20 levels or whatever are in this class, my Acolyte, and you post things in here, and it just moves over to the right. And as you move, you get new elite abilities, and this is for every class. And once you get to this blue line, and you're far enough in the campaign, you'll get the choice to specialize. So obviously I chose Lich, and I'm about halfway through the tree right now. So it's cool. It came with a thing that turns me into the Reaper. I haven't used it much because I don't like it very much. It's very understandable. Things are written very well. So like, boom, increased necrotic damage by 60%. Spell damage leech as health 1%. But you get plus 10 health. So it's very simply written, which is really nice for someone like me. I don't have a lot of time to go read wikis and stuff. If we go out of here and we go into skills, this is a really cool system. So I have chosen these 4 skills. They're the 4 on my board right now. I have my Golem, my Spirit Plague, my Skeletons, and my Wandering Spirits. So what this is, at level 50, you'll have 5. Right now I have 4. You basically pick 4 of your spells, right, that you like, and you customize them. It's super cool. So, like, let's go with my Golem, right? You go up here, and you see these little pips right here. So there's like 4 pips. That means you have to put 4 points into this to get up to here. 1 to get up to here. And they kind of work together. So if you want to have 1 minion, you do Pyre Golem and then Bone Kindling, and you throw all your skeletons out there, and he eats them and makes them stronger. It's not bad. I didn't like it. I unspec'd it. Not a big deal. This one gives you 2 smaller, slightly weaker golems. I didn't like it. Spec'd out of it. Not a huge deal. Basically, these level up as you use them. And so as you can see, I haven't had this one that long, but it's already level 8. Because the higher level you go, the higher the specialization minimum is. So like I could totally remove the plague, and I would be able to put something in it already be level 5. Which means I just have to go around and kill stuff for a little while, and it'll level up faster because it's a lower level. There's lots of things you can do in here. There's like a ice version of the golem. You know, there's this one. So this is when you have 2 golems. One will be a bone golem, one will be a special elemental. So like when I had it, I had 1 pyre golem, which is fire damage, and 1 bone, which is good because if I run up to something that has fire defense, the bone golem can still do damage to it. And every single skill is just this complex, right? But you're not dealing with it all at once, like in PoE. The thing I didn't like about PoE is that they throw you in, you get gems, and then shit just goes insane. Like, you have a 5-page map of all your skills. This is a much more simplistic, here's your stats, this is what you need, here are your skills, make them what you want. It's pretty cool. Not to mention the fact that it's a $35 game, and I've already had more fun than I had in Diablo 4. So, you know, another thing is like, so when you start out as an Acolyte, you can see all the skills for both trees just ready, and when Warlock comes out, it'll be here too. It's just not out yet. So that's what I kind of like so far about the system. The game gives you just as much information as you want. You know, it shows you how much resistance you have to so many different kinds of things. It shows you all your other stuff, your stats. Stats don't really work the same way like they do in most ARPGs. They are much smaller, as you can see. Like my int is only 14, and that's my major stat. Okay? But they'll give you anything you want. Like, you can look up any stat you want. It's great for people who love to min-max, from what I understand. But I don't have to, and I don't want to, so I'm not gonna. They do have a shop. I have not messed with it. Basically, you can buy stuff to support the devs. It seems to be all cosmetic, pets, and clothes. I'm okay with it, you know? There doesn't seem to be anything in here about pay $5 and level twice as fast. So, you know, there's some things where it's like, hey, look how cool you'll look. You get a cool down portal. Woo woo. It's fine. That's the kind of cosmetic, or that's the kind of cash shop that I'm okay with. The, like, I wish, so one of the things it didn't do well was it did not tell me that this was the menu. I had to find this. And it doesn't look like much. It's very small, and it, you know, I hit it, and obviously stuff came up. The map could be better. It has the standard mini-map over here, and if you hit tab, it throws it into the middle. And so it's kind of like a D2 map, or D3. It's not bad. But if you hit M to open up a larger map, it takes you to this, which is not great. It doesn't show you, you can't like pull up a map of everything you've explored so far. And also, if you like go to this town portal and come back, the map will have reset, which kind of sucks. I don't think it does that for waypoints. It definitely does it for town portal, and I don't mess with town portal very often. So it's a pretty chill game. I use a keyboard, or I use a mouse that has a numpad on it, specifically so that when I play games like Diablo 3 that use numbers for their skills, I only have to use one hand, which means I can have a kid sitting on my lap watching a tablet, and I can still play my game. Now, you can't from what I understand, you can't rebind your keys right now, but I'm hoping that comes out soon, or at least when they do like a full launch of the game. If not, I'm sure there'll be like a mod for it, because this the dev team seems to be super cool with mods. Okay. Let's see. Aside from that, my Wandering Spirits just leveled up again. So I had 2, now I have 3. honestly, I don't want to do these on camera because I don't want to mess it up. I want to go and read all this stuff, you know, and find what I want to do because it's kind of fun. I feel no urgency to, like, right when I earn a respec, or right when I earn a spec point, I need to spend it right then, which is super nice. Like, I can just kind of chill out, and, you know, it's like I have like an hour or two before I'm gonna stream, or like I have an hour before bed when the kids have like fought me all day or something like that. It's so much chiller than Diablo 4. Like, it's just map to map. They do a very good job of pacing. I think I'm going to do a stream or two of this game, starting a new character. The nice thing is, you never feel like you have to stop. Like, there's never... They do a really good job of making it so, like, there's always a reason to keep playing. The quests flow really well into each other. There's no boring spots, and there's no spots where it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll stop now. It's always leading you to the next one, and it's really nice. So that's kind of cool. I actually found myself playing for like an hour and a half. I stayed up way too late for me. I'm old. I stayed up till like midnight, and that was too late for me. But I had a really good time doing it, which is just a nice feeling after not having a game to play for a long time. So the story is there, like I said earlier. I haven't gotten into it much yet, but from what I understand, it's time travel that actually makes sense, and I applaud them. They do another cool thing that a lot of large devs don't do, that these guys aren't large devs. They actually listen to their community. They took feedback from several of the people who stream the game and created items that they wanted to see. So, like, one of them, I think it was Scissorin, wanted them to have a squirrel helmet that turns all your wolves as a druid into squirrels. So he had like 20 squirrels. You know, it's just hilarious. So that's just kind of my beginner's thoughts. 10 hours in, this is what I'm thinking. If you like this, drop me a comment. Tell me, you know, if you think I'm missing something and you want to know what I think about it, hit me up. You know, if you've been playing the game for like 40 hours and you're like, oh, dude, he's going to want to see this thing, or I can't believe he hasn't done this yet, let me know. I'm a super noob, and I would be excited to have some conversation about the game because I'm genuinely excited about it. So I'll see you guys later, and I'm sorry for the rambling. That's just kind of how my brain works. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great one, and I'll see you on the internet's machine.